I hate this spell. Hello, display. Hope you're doing well. There you go. Sometimes you just gotta warm into it. Damn, that was a sick cap. Never-ending grind keeps on. Yep. Because you know what? Because whenever the grind ends for this game, it's just moving to a different one. So there's always more Touhou to grind. Will be the case. But Peerless Wind God remains free. Hello, Toaster. Plans? What do you mean, what are the plans? Plans what they always are. It's Touhou. Oop. Plan's not having. I mean, there's a plan. And the plan is that I'm playing Mountain Faith. And then in probably about 2 hours, approximately, I'll play some Fantasy Maiden Wars. And that's how it goes. This deck is so fun. So to burn us to another. There's always a bigger fish. Or a similar sized fish. Or maybe even not even similar size. There's always a big fish. Fish to get bigger fish, yeah. Excuse me. There's always a bumper crowd. Ooh. She was wiggling too much. Couldn't keep pace with her quick speed to try to get the quick kill. Chen, don't tell Ronnie Yukari. I mean, I don't know how much, like, Yukari really cares if Chen gets beat up. But Ranshima, on the other hand, ooh, you got something else coming for you. You know, the next LNN grind I should do should be one just completely unexpected. Completely out of left field. Like, I just show up playing, like, Wily Beast. Oh, what the? Why? Still have the Touhou release in 5 hours. Yep. I can't wait for it to release. 5 hours. Yo, what up, Alan? Speak for Deathless. I mean, Minariko B as Minariko B, you know? You know, was it? There are three constants in this universe. Death, taxes, and, stage 1 being a bitch. Alan, what would you say is the easiest stage 1? Lost Word, because yes, what do you mean torture? Lost Word's fun. I enjoy Lost Word. I had a really fun Lost Word run yesterday. Because I feel like the answer is probably something like USD. I don't know exactly where the Perishable Knight ranks. I feel like maybe that's up there. I don't know for sure. Probably not. 10 Desires. I could see 10 Desires. PCB. PCB is also definitely... 10 Desires feels like it's a little too... long. PCB power gain on stage 1 is a little harder than USD. What do you mean that the other way around? A little bit spooky. I don't like Yuuko's final in Dead Desires. I like that Yuuko fight, not gonna lie. Everyone bitches about how they ruined Yuuko by making her stage 1 boss. I like the Yuuko 10 Desires fight, but... bit of a problem. Though that's the thing that made me, you know, why I said USD, because Rumia is really tame, generally speaking, as long as you can do demarcation well. But the stage portion farming for power is a bit tricky. Although, I'm not exactly sure how comfortable I am to say it's super tricky when it's been a hot second since I had to, do that, and I'm a lot better than I used to be, so I don't know actually how tricky it is. That was a good cancel, nice. Kill Rumia. You say kill every like character. It's very consistent in stage 1. Yeah, well, because stage 2 also gives you so much power, right? Like, you don't really need the power for Rumia. Rumia's pretty damn consistent. Me and Renosuke, SMH my head. So it's like, I wonder with, like, how much, like, suboptimal stage 1 power grinding you could still get max power before Cheerbo. And also, even if that would matter. It might matter a little bit with, like, homing, because you can't, like, then fully cycle the first non-copium. But, like, I don't know how big of a deal that would be. But who's not going to try to get max power on stage 1? Come on. What are we doing? Who's not going to try to min-max their item pickups on stage 1? Max power. Yeah, but you don't. But you play as the Crin. You play as freaking Needles. Yeah, Cheerbo's generally speaking not that bad. Plus, I don't know how, like, how much do you have to miss on stage 1 to not get max power on stage 2? 73-3? Damn, my faith is cooking right now. I mean, Rico cancels were on point. Pretty nice score? No, it's 73 million, not 69 million. Come on. But, like, who wants to, like, try to do minimum? Who wants to just ignore items on stage 1? Like, a lot of my PCB runs on stage 1 was trying to actually hit max power on stage 1. Which is possible sometimes. but it's kind of difficult. I think it was a little bit random, but I actually don't remember exactly. It's been a hot second. Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like that one's one of the relatively fine ones. Like, I guess Wriggle's, like, super final is probably, like, a little bit... Fucking piece of shit! It's probably, like, a little bit worse than probably something like Rumia, but... How tragic. Consistent with practice. Okay, Alan. Oh, this attack's really consistent as long as you put 24 hours into practicing it. It's really consistent. Let's check something real quick before I do another one. Yeah, after all, you're right. Base turn, piece of shit? Are you calling Wriggle a piece of shit, Alan? Hold up. That's uncalled for. But, like, there's no way you're gonna argue Minorico's the easiest. No way you're arguing, like... Oh, I guess stage as a whole. Like, you count in the stage and the boss, of course. But Mountain Faith, you're not saying it's the easiest. Subterranean, you're not. UFO, you're not. 10 Desires, I could see it, but I think it's a little long. So I definitely would say no. I don't think I'd say yes towards Waggy Saggy and that towards that Waggy Saggy in that stage. I don't think it's that bad, but I also don't think it's gonna be the easiest. What am I doing? Spell one, bruh. The fucking problem with fucking Nazarene is that piece of shit final playing his homing because he deals 0 damage to that thing. Holy moly. That spell is annoying. I love the fact that it lasts 5 years as homing. Okay, but it's static. It's still easily the attack on stage 1 I died the most to when I was grinding the 1cc. Ten Desires, I don't know how good 10 Desires is necessarily for consistency, but I really doubt it's easier than, say, something like PCP or USD. I think LOL K's is pretty easy. I think that's probably, like, top 3 easiest, probably. I don't know if I'd say easiest for sure, but it's probably, like, top 3. Seiren's well known for being kind of free, if you really think about it. Should have gotten that cancel slightly early. Oh, I'm sorry. For all the 5 best players in the fucking world, it's actually kind of consistent on stage 1. You're right. You're right. Might be. I should have thought about that. For fucking Oscar, it's like super consistent, guys. It's fucking free, dude. Another bad cancel. Rest in peace. Score. I don't have... How hard is Hidden Star for consistency? Keep that Minariko more. I don't disagree with you. But what I'm saying is that for 99% of the human population, more than 99%, realistically, LOL K is going to be worse. I don't think LOL K has the kind of the bullshit that, you know, it doesn't have that random bullshit on Stage 1. But like I said, you know, how many people besides maybe, like, single digits is this going to be true for? It's not going to be true for me. That's for sure. Even if you gave me, you know, say I was 50 hours deep into 100 hours deep into playing LOL K, I still don't think that'd be true. Maybe, who knows? Maybe I'll go play LOL K next after this and prove that, just to try to prove that statement wrong. Anyway, regardless, I don't think anyone's going to argue it's the easiest, even if you want to try to argue that it's actually consistent, dude. Just route it. But Eternity, I'm not familiar enough with Eternity for LNN purposes to say too much. Wily Beast, as relatively easy as that game is comparatively to other LNNs, I don't think there's a soul that's going to say that that's the easiest Stage 1. Well, there might be a soul. What am I talking about? But, like... And Michael Catt is also a little rough, so... So I can kind of see the answer being either of those earliest ones, if we ignore PC98. Although I don't, even if we counted PC98, I don't know how many games besides maybe, I don't know if any of the games would reach the easiest category besides maybe Hidden Star, not Hidden Star, Highly Responsive Prayers. Highly Responsive Prayers Stage 1 is kind of pretty easy, like, once you spend, like, an hour routing it. Although, if you're not bombing, it's probably a little bit worse, but, like, it's not that bad, right? Like, it's a really basic field. Like, as long as you're, like, good enough hitting your angles before Harry shows up, that's really all that matters. I cannot fucking stand this fucking early game. CPCB, I could see that. Most of my time in PCB was me getting past Stage 1 and just dying to Chen. Or Alice. Oh shit! Is that a bot in my chest? Unbelievable! Take your guesses, boys, right before I click on it. What day was this account created? Let's say 2 days ago. Nope, created yesterday. Damn it. That's wrong. That mostly Chen. Yep, that's how PCB goes. It's you die to Chen, and the runs that can make it past Chen will die to Alice. And then Lily White's waiting for you in the back. Although I'll say this, I know a lot of people like complain about Lily being a problem. I never had really too much of an issue with Lily White. It was Lunasa Non 2. That was the fucking killer there for me. Like, I found the stage with like Lily, like, it's not like Lily didn't kill me ever, but I never found her really that problematic. It was just that fucking Lunasa Non 2. That was just such an absolute pain in the dickens. On that stage 4. Oh, that's not gonna be, I'm gonna lose some faith. Oh, look at that, minus 4,000! It's never been more Mina over. You know, I think people really underestimate that faith when they look at it from a glance. Because, like, it's got a relatively pretty tame stage 5, and it's, like, the shortest game. So people really, I think, like, I think there's a number of players that, like, when you rank it and you're like, oh, you put it pretty high up, or you know, slightly above average, it's like, okay, that's fair, but then people, I don't think Mountain Faith necessarily gets the respect it deserves sometimes with its problems. So it's like, okay, you know, everyone can look at stage 4 and be like, yeah, that stage 4 is kind of rough. And, like, the fact that the game is so short compared to, like, a lot of the others makes you sit there and be like, well, you just keep, you can get through it so much quicker. You can get so many more runs going. When it's like, it's not true, because fuck this early game. Because, like, Subterranean Animism has a little bit of a Yamame problem, right? Because, like, Yamame Non 1 is cringe, right? But, like, there's nothing else until that stage 3 that is, like, really, like, ooh, that's like, ooh, you know, that's kind of an issue, that's kind of an issue attack, right? Like, that stage 2 is relatively pretty tame. It honestly might be the easiest stage 2 for LNN consistency. If it's not number 1, it's still definitely up there. And stage 3 has some hard parts, but I definitely wouldn't call it any massive walls. It doesn't have any massive, like, RNG checks, I would argue. Like EOSD. Well, that's the polarizing thing about EOSD, is it is like the biggest, like, it's so polarizing from early game to late game, right? Because the EOSD has one of the easier, I'm not going to necessarily say easiest, because I'll say easiest and someone's going to be like, actually it's not, because XYZ, it's not actually the easiest. It's in the running for being one of the easiest, you know, early games. But that stage 4, 5, and 6, you know, everything post-books is just turbo ass. For LNN consistency. This wasn't a challenge for you to argue with what the easiest early game is. The point was, it's definitely up there. Because, like, its late game is so brutal, but, like, everything... It's not like Mei Ling's not a problem, by the way. It's not like Mei Ling doesn't have her issues. She absolutely does. But, like, that early game is relatively tame. And part of that is just because the late game is so turbo ass. Right? Because, like... And that's what makes EOSD so weird, is because, like... Let's look at the other hard games consistently, right? UFO. UFO is kind of just consistent throughout the entire game. It kind of keeps a pretty relatively tame, relatively consistent difficulty curve. LOL-K, with kind of a break being in stage 4, it's like you kind of just have, like, Lull K is spread well throughout the game. USD is just 0 to 100. Of course, that's an exaggeration, but, like, the point remains. Holy shit, I'm on stage 3. Now, to be honest, if you're talking on LNN pace, I feel like the hardest actually might be, Pod. And I say this mostly at a joke, but I will say, for LNN's sake, your first battle in Pod, your stage 1, your round 1, is going to be against Kotohime. Like, most of the time, I feel that is, like, definitely the answer you want to do. And it's gonna be fucking ass. It's good. Honestly, it's probably harder to LNN Kotohime than it is to LNN any other stage 1s. Although, of course, context is very different. That Kotohime fight, even on round 1, is so dog shit. Don't do me like that. Don't. Why? Why? Stage 1 is 20. I'm talking about more LNN consistency. What experience do you have in this regard? Also, Game Glitcher. You missed me yesterday making Sakuya B in Lost Branch look like it's just the most cracked thing on the market. That could be actually broken in Lost Branch. Bruh. Who's more cracked? Sakuya B. It's definitely a lot easier to become cracked with Sakuya B at the bare minimum than Koishie. Like, effectively, I just play Koishie B in a way, or not Koishie B, Sakuya B, that run in a way where it's just, I just play infinite card draw, and then I win. Because I just play a bunch of card draw cards, because you get access to that, and then I win. He's the hardest character. Well, she was until they added Koishie, so that is most of Lost Branch's lifespan at this point. Here's the thing, casually, she's a very hard character still, don't get me wrong. If you're really try-hardy, she can be you can kind of break her really easily, but for most people like you and I, it's not can be kind of problematic. I think the thing that makes this just so turbo cringe is because it's like bumper crop is very cringe. But like there are a number of games that have these, you know, this one early game attack that's kind of turbo cringe. But it's the fact that you have bumper, exile, and hydro. So it's like I cap this. Dude, when I'd make it past Yamame, I'm like actually in a good mood. Like I get past this, I'm like, so here comes Exile Doll. And then you get past Exile Doll and you're like, fucking Hydro still. You know, this game could effectively look to play almost like a very similarly to EOSD in a regard where it's like the game, you know, the game is just, it's fine, and it's like where the game just comes down to Momiji Plus, where it's like the entire game comes down. Yeah, fucking just keep baiting that shit wrong. Comes down to you know, it's the Momiji waiting room. You get to there, and then the real run begins. Except the difference is that there's just 3 big piles of key in your way. That's just easy. You got to say it right, Game Glitcher. The term is it's free. You never call something easy. You gotta call it free. Because that's even more insulting. Because like easy, you know, easy's pretty. Got a pretty loose definition, but free puts you in a much bigger. Deal. Probably a better. That's probably a better term for that, in all honesty. Fodder. Fodder's not as offensive. If you're referring to, oh, that attack's fodder. Like, it's hard to find a term that would be more refer to it, just more, you know, repulsive to use as a like free just hits differently than like. Oh my goodness! Why are you like this? Take 20 minutes off your life. Says the thing. That's because works is natural. Everyone works. Because if everyone works, then there's nothing unnatural about it. Asking is free, so true. Plant sunflowers in PvZ, prove you wrong. I don't have enough stake in this conversation to try to prove you wrong. I've also never played PvZ, so. I need to can't like wait. They're like just another frame. Demon humanoid? Why are you asking? You just said I don't know. I don't see any warning on my end, so that's just Twitch looking at you. Why you like this game? Oh, what? No one dies there? Yeah, no one's ever died to bumper crop. I don't know if I would have died without it. The thing that makes it tricky right now is still this keyboard in that regard. I full pressed the left button when I tried to do the shimmy to the left. Now, even if I didn't, I don't know. I might still have died, but my instinct is still full pressing keys. That's gonna take a hot minute to try to drill out of me. I gotta pee. That canceled. That was a really good cancel. Shame that first one was bad, or else otherwise I'd be cooking right now. Dude, I could be at like 20, 21-8. Could you not? Why it didn't materialize? They didn't. What? The laser didn't materialize. That was so BS. The laser did not materialize in time. That is the hitbox appeared before the laser became fully solid. That's garbage. I gotta pee. Up here back. Like, if you go back, Alan, and look, I want to go back. I'm going to go back and clip this. Also, partially so I can see it back, because I only could see it, like, once back. No, don't do that. Fuck, I go all the way into Twitch. Do this. I'm gonna do this. Partially because I want to see what happened exactly, because it looked like the late because like the yellow line appears. It didn't fucking... It didn't get solid! This is bull! Let me put the you guys can watch this and let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about hitbox. What the fuck this hitbox was, and how this makes sense. It didn't get solid in time. It was not solid in time. Cheated. Minarito, well-known cheater. See, that right there is why this game is brutal. Stage 4 is actually free. It's this fucking Minarito that is the hardest part of the game. It's the laser's forming there, but like... Oh, reaction time is my favorite. Yoda reacted to it, of course. This game is so great. I love this late game. It's just a real shame you can never get there. It'll probably be like 2 years before I get Hidden Star LNN. Okay, I'm not even at 6 months of this game. It took me 6 months of the last game to get an LNN, and this game's harder. 2 years, what the fuck? 2 years if you're lucky. But I don't think Hidden Star is probably not the game I'm going to next. Right? So, like, realistically, it's like I'll be lucky if I have this run by the end of the year. And then what? How long is the next one gonna take? You know, I'm gonna get my 1cc and the other things. Okay, next game, no. Okay, that's technically not true. There is an amount you could pay me to do that, but I'm not going to be out here acknowledging I'm going to accept money for that purpose. And if someone were to insist on that, I will make the price unreasonably high. Okay, yeah. See, if someone was willing to donate 10K for the next game, then sure, but, like, I don't want to... One of my most important rules is like, I'll take, you know, advice from people, and be like, oh, you should, you know, look... Oh, what the fuck? Hello, Kageyama. Dude, Midoriko is just bending me over today. Just taking her sweet pumpkin, and sweet potato, just railing me with me. Holy shit. If you're best friends with a yokai and you died of old age, would you allow them to eat you? That's an interesting question. I'm gonna say no, and the reason because it would probably be my wife in that situation, and I wouldn't want to traumatize her by having her eat my dead body, because that'd probably be pretty rough on her at that point. So I'm gonna say no. I don't think she'd want to eat me at that point either. Like, I feel like that would be just too painful for her. Even though that was the thing she did, right? Like... If it was your wife, well then it wouldn't be my best friend. Plain and simple. Something. See, Kageyama's out here with the right answers. Speaking of Kageyama, could you be tame right now? I shouldn't have changed keyboards. It's never been more Jover. So then how do you treat dogs, Game Glitcher? Treat them with love and care? Do you treat them like like, subhuman being that's beneath your feet. People treat their dogs differently, you know? The fact that he says pet, or the fact that you're using pet in this description makes me think you support animal cruelty. Maybe I should just super increase the delay on all of my keys. This, you know, the game keeps going from like a week of being great and a week of just being god-awful. No early fairy. Rumia? I don't think Rumia has those kind of thoughts in her head, I'm not gonna lie. You know, maybe I'm mistaken, maybe, you know, maybe I'll have to ask Zune about it, but I don't think he thinks that far. I don't think she has that type of complex in her mind. Probably. Ah ha 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 ha. Thing. Hey, at least the Lunaries were still willing to make deals with Reimu, right? Like they're still willing to make political deals with Reimu. There's been like 50 minutes of runs. I've made it to Hydro once. I've made it to Exile, I think, twice. No, I think I made it there 3 times. Hey, I got the other fairy. Korima. No, she's not the public defendant. Aya was. And Tenchi. Tenchi was the better public defendant. Love when you die. If that's what keeps you happy when you go to bed. The problem is I'm torn right now as to whether or not I want to keep with this keyboard or to, like, suck it up and just stick with it and just say, that I'm just gonna have to get good with this, or just to go back to my old ones. Just plow our way to the final boss. Yeah, let me get right on that. Yeah. Really, cat. Stage 2, I'm back again. Woo! Distort? What does that mean? Where did I fuck up my faith gains? Do farms exist in the village? Oh, no, good question. According to Misty's Izakaya, there's a few giant crop fields right at the very front. At least the front compared to where Mystia lives, on the Yokai Trail. It's not canon. Your ass isn't canon. Just as a harvest. Puppet Dance Performance has a couple of those crop fields out there as well in Human Village, right? Oh, Marissa's chest went to her ass. Soon told you. I'll believe you. You saw the secret notes. Any black magic? What's the definition of black magic? I think that's a pretty vague term. According to Ace Attorney, she knows some black magic. Taboo magic? Well, then the question would be, you know, what's taboo magic? For cancer. Wow, what a cancel. Too bad my one cancel is kind of dog shit. Cast Amnesia, that's also what probably happens in a Ace Attorney whenever it gets hit with the mass amnesia incidents. Neat. Act a human. Holy base. Maybe I just need to max out the press rates on my new keyboard. Effectively treat it like a mechanical keyboard. You don't have to go straight up. Good Halloween? I did. Hope you did as well, Scooter. Game Ritzer pulling up this message for the third time. Just a dumb question. Hey, I don't talk about cannibalism. Until I do. So that's the channel, and they never will. Ooh, I'm on this side? I never go to this side. Oh, fuck, that was really, really wiggly round. Okay, I'm gonna... Give me una minute. You know what? Getting to the point of the year where I gotta actually start thinking about Christmas shopping. What are you cat reacting me for? I just said Christmas shopping. Halloween? Yeah, but if you don't go shopping quick enough, then, you know... No, I'm just messing with something real quick. Have a good one now. Okay. Let's just go try and mess around with this. No. I gotta fucking get used to this fucking thing. So you know what? I can't keep pushing it off. I gotta keep spending my time getting used to this thing. I just changed my my input time and my keys to match similarly to what they were on my old keyboard. Whee! I don't know if that's a good idea or if it's just better to learn a new input timing as long as that's gonna take. Pee again. go racing to make rabbit stew. I don't know. I've never had rabbit stew, so I can't say if it's good enough that it's worth it. I don't think I've ever had rabbit, period. Rabbit, at least around here, is not the most common of things. I mean, like, sometimes bumper is just like that, right? If by sometimes, I mean all the time today. You know what I actually should do with this? Easiest attack in the game, dude. Unbelievable. Hydro Cam has... This attack doesn't even hold a handle to Hydro Camouflage's difficulty. Sometimes, it's unbelievable what I can do here, and then just not be able to do in the early game. Fried IO tastes like chicken. Right. At 3 in a row now, died like 5 in a row. Just by nature. I really don't know where I want my sensitivity to sit, though. I hate that it's bothering me. Who would be the tastiest Touhou character if you cooked? It's incredible, some of the dodges I can make in this, and then I can't even get past Notori. disgusting maneuver you'd make me have to do. I mean, realistically, what I should just do is, hold on. Realistically, what I should do is just this and suck it up. Should I? Yeah, I really think I should just do this and suck it up. Nope, that's right attack. I think I was just getting too focused on a certain idea of a game plan on this attack instead of what I should be doing. I'm trying to see like this in the middle of a run might not be the easiest, but I think the problem that happens is I see a concept that like works at like some point, and then I become so fixated on that concept that I do a concept that I do a thing that works, but I read into it wrong, and I do it for the wrong reasons. I think this is kind of proving it right here. So I learned about why I want to like go to the right, and then why I want to go to the left, or that I do. But I think I was reading this too much as a. I had a strat that like worked once or twice, and then I was too confident in it. I think realistically, the play is unfortunately a bit more intensive. Like it requires you to be more attentive, but I think it's just so much more consistent. Okay, that was... I actually could have gotten out of that one, but that was one mistake. I don't think that takes away from the idea. So I was too focused on like, oh, I want to go to the right, over here, and then just kind of cut to the left. You kind of get out quickly, but... And it's like, sometimes that works, but... I think I just gotta encompass the other idea, which is just look for where the biggest, like, holes are, like, ahead of time. I see a big one right here, boom, that spot. Here, ooh, I see, I don't get here, yeah, boom. And just play to those areas, instead of trying to just play to get in and out of the wave as quickly as possible. I think that was costing me too much. Here, I gotta pee. Be right back 1 minute. Pocket fried chicken would be baller. Is your morality then? So true. You know, I think this was my issue that I keep doing. I've done this in all 3 games. And I've caught myself on this game already. Doing it. Where I'll get myself on like a strat, an idea, a plan, a route. And then eventually I do it so many times that I don't really like realize, I forget why I do the plan the way I do. And then so like on something like Illusionary Waterfall there, it starts biting me in the butt. Because I just start doing I just start seeing the attack wrong. And oftentimes it doesn't show on attacks like Peerless Wind God, like Divine Virtues, because I spent so much time on them, trying to just, like, play around them, that, like, I don't really have that issue. Where a lot of attacks, especially in the earlier parts of the game, you just kind of... You kind of mindlessly play through them so much, you kind of lose that. Like, an issue I had with this last game in Subterranean was on stage 4, after the, after the stage 4 after the second Orin Non, there's that, like, massive green bullet streaming section. And, like, I sat down, I learned my route, boom, I was doing it. And then eventually, I like, twice throughout the run, I had to go back and, like, re-pick it up. And, like, re-figure out what I'm doing, because I just do it so many times that I just... Eventually... Like, I do it so many times mindlessly that eventually I just kind of start doing it wrong, and I don't understand what's going wrong. I think this attack is a decent as an aspect of this too. Or it's like, I started looking at my bottom hook strat, and it has worked pretty well, but like sometimes inconsistently. And I think that's because there's aspects of why the bottom hooking was working that like I didn't fully grasp. I didn't fully grasp, like, why it works. So then I just tell myself, oh, just bottom hug the entire time, and then I find inconsistencies at some time. Where, like, sometimes I'm working on it, and it's working great. And sometimes it has issues, and the inconsistency is frustrating. Because, like, you know you can get it, but you're not sure, like, what is it wrong? Again, that's an issue with that mindless dribble of the early game. That's too aggressive. Like, I can see there, it's like, my read was actually not bad, it's just, like, didn't execute it. It's like, if that's a problem, like, that's fine by me. I mean, it's annoying, don't get me wrong, but, like... Oh, I'm losing frames. Yippee-ki-yay, internet's pooping itself. And you wanna salvage yourself? Frame rate? Any bit rate? Any minute now? Any minute now, bit rate. Holy shit! What the fuck? Ooh, actually, that was a good read. This is unbelievable. I just, sometimes you swear. You're livid. Just when I was starting to feel happier about myself. Here comes in to try to ruin my day. Holy shit, thank you. You only have to drop 5,000 frames. Note to everyone, refresh your page, otherwise you'll be delayed because of bit rate. Slowing things down. Oh, it just Twitch dashboard doesn't want to load. There you go. Yeah, I think this is too many attacks I look at too linearly. It bites me in the ass. Again, at some point I'll learn this lesson. And be a lot better at applying it. I've gotten better at it. I just don't... Hello, Puma. That might have been early. Ooh, just literally exactly. Nice. Oh, I'm set. I should probably just stop doing that strat entirely, but I don't know if that's something I'll feel pull back on, but again, I think that's just something I always need to be aware of. That's going to be a problem. Or things that you do too much with repetition, it's just, if you're not careful, you'll lose why you do them the right way. And then you'll find yourself struggling to it because you're just not doing it properly. You know, it's always saying the late game about disrespecting attacks. But, like, applying it to the early game. Because, like, there's a lot of parts in the late game where it's like, you know, the attack can be done pretty consistently. If you spend the time, learning it by figuring out a route, like, there are a number of attacks you can get 80, 90+% cap rates on. But, you know, when you're in the moment, you might forget a detail. Or you're too focused on something else that you start to do what you, like, always do, but you forget why, so then you just don't... You read something wrong. Those are the worst, because, like, when you die to Fearless Wind Guardian, it's like, you know, you don't feel that bad. Like, I mean, it's a shame. But you understand, yeah, that's Fearless Wind Guard. That's just how the game is. That's how that is going to be. It's a very difficult path. Boom. But when you die to things, like, that are not, you know, as difficult... The easier things, the easier the something is that you die to, honestly, the more frustrating it usually is. Like, obviously, when I died to Divine Virtues on pace, it's like, that sucks. But there are other deaths that honestly can sting more. It sucks for a different reason. Okay, I find that issue with these guys sometimes, too. Like, sometimes I let these guys shoot too much. And the reason is because, like, I walk in, I just kind of start doing my movement. And I'm not focusing on each fairy as it comes down, act human. So I overlook one. I just kind of, like, start, like, doing the thing and, like, expect it to be fine, but when I'm not focusing on objective, I just actually, like, forget to kill all of them properly. And then I find myself getting in trouble for that. Almost good. Good read, couldn't execute it well. Should have gone to the right. Or had been slightly more patient with my half to the right. Fortunately, it's a bit late in the day for me to come across all this now, but better now so we can do it for tomorrow. Honestly, I think this is another attack where, you know, I start focusing on the wrong thing. Spent a lot of time on bumper crop under the idea of, like, or at least a bit of time. Where it's like, realistically what you want to do is you want to take the red bullets and, like, preset yourself up in a way that makes the red bullets, like, nice. To give yourself, like, the least of those you have to dodge, and then be ready. So, like, the moment the the yellow lasers spawn in, you're ready to, like, react. The problem is, I think I spent too much time focusing on the red bullets. That I was just relying too much on peripheral for the yellow lasers, and you need to have your focus on those yellow lasers when they spawn, because then you just won't be quick enough to dodge them properly. When you can. You know, the attack can still BS you, obviously. But I think when you focus too much on the bullets and then you're just not focusing on the lasers, you'll just die to the micros. Because the laser will just catch you off completely. They're also just so quick. Good idea. Yeah, I'm looking too much ahead on the yellow lasers. And so I liked what I was doing there, even though I died at the end. It's fine. Let's move on for now. That's good. I just gotta remember to be more concentrated in Summit Park.